Good morning and welcome to Aspheric News this morning. My name remains Israel Ibeleme, and always in the studio with me every morning is Alhaji Abdul Malik Mustafa. Alhaji, how are you? And how was your weekend?
My weekend was okay. And yours?
So with the whole trending news and stories hitting all the nation, first to review this morning, we're actually going to be on Punch, but I just want you to tell me what has been your experience within the weekend. And
well, it's a normal.
There's a lot of politicking and
a lot of politicking
movement, yes.
This insecurity of a team. People are being somehow.
Some people are actually scared to go to church.
Yes.
That was on Sunday,
yeah.
Because of the alarm. Some people in fact, some churches have started doing online service.
Online service, yeah. It's necessary. It's good like that. At least let's take that precautionary measure so that we will not give that room to the terrorists. Although you understand, by the time people become so jittery and so apply that fear, it's another aims of the terrorists have achieved their aim. By the time they now discover that they make life difficult for people, they achieve their aim. But it's good as churches are taking that precautionary measures.
All right, so if you want to join us on the Confessional Gist program every morning, please do not forget to follow us on our social media handle. We are on his Facebook. On the Facebook, we are official Aspheric News. Then on our Instagram page, we are Aspheric News. On our Twitter page, we also are Aspheric News, #Aspheric News. On our YouTube channel, please kindly subscribe to our YouTube channel. That is very important to us as well. YouTube channel will have Aspheric TV on your YouTube channel, Aspheric TV. Please do not forget that. In case if you want to contact us, you want to inform us about our news, you want to know what happens around your area, do not forget to contact us. Our number displayed on the screen that you are watching right now, +234 9999 8117. And I repeat again, +234 9999 8117. Please do always subscribe and share our content. Today, our morning review, we will be discussing about political activities in Nigeria. If you recall that our election is just around the corner, we are going to elect our new leaders. It's almost 4 years over for this administration, and we are looking for new leaders and who is going to occupy the seat of power in Nigeria, especially the presidency, which is very key to every Nigerian, and also our state government houses. Those who are to run for state government houses is also very important for all our states, because our states must also have someone who will lead. We also have our senatorial candidates in every sector, in every senatorial zones, and also House of Rep members as well. We also have State Assembly candidate as well set aside for the forthcoming election in 2023. Wish everyone good luck. There are a number of them contesting, but we just need one for each of these positions. But wish everyone good luck. But this morning, for us to proceed this morning, we're going to focus on the Punch newspaper. There is a headline in the Punch newspaper, so that has been trending since yesterday. On the Punch newspaper, it says CBN destroyed over 6 trillion banknote under Buhari regime. So CBN destroyed over 6 trillion under Buhari regime. FS Bank spent 3.88 billion to dispose mutilated banknote in 5 years. Naira slumped to 785. Naira together is 785. And President defended Mefula and as criticism mount against Naira redesign. Let me just take it bit by bit with Alhaji so that we can really digest this whole topic and also discuss it extensively. Alhaji, the government is spending 6 trillion banknote under this administration, so that is about past 7 years. That is disposed of. They dispose
The naira.
The naira. When I mean, what you should understand is naira, the one that we use already.
Yes.
That is not
the old currency.
The old currency, yes, and circulated and returned back to the bank. Then they are spending 3.88 billion.
That is staggering amount of money. You understand? No, I believe that when ordinary Nigerians outside there, especially the layman on the street, when he see this kind of front page from the Punch, his own assumption is that such staggering amount of money being channeled into disposing money. It's own whole lot of things, because it's only CBN that keep track of the liquidity ratio of amount of money in the circulation, and they know quite okay that look, from so time to so time we are going to mint 100 naira bill or 200 naira bill or 500 naira bill, and when they now set the time frame to say okay, this is when we are going to mint it, they will have to recall back those amount of money in circulation. When they collect them back through the commercial banks, through the money deposit banks, they recall them. By the time it go to the bank, that money will not go back to the circulation again, and that is exactly what they do. And when they recoup those ones from the circulation, what they normally do is they trash them. And how do they trash them? They burn them. So, but at times you now discover that the cost of retrieving those money and the cost of minting other ones too, it becomes so higher than even the one they are trying to mop up. Well, it's part of the monetary policy, monetary function of the CBN, and they are doing their work. So, but in attempt to do that, they must come out to explain to more Nigerians, you know, this is a democracy. Democracy is not like military regime whereby you can do anything you want to do and just like that. But in this case, a lot of Nigerians need to be aware about what is happening within the CBN. The aspect of saying that okay, they are going to redesign the money, it's another different ball game again. Some people will say, look, a lot of Nigerians keep their money. They don't use the former banking system. I foresee a problem for those people that are keeping their money at home, because it means they have to pass, that money must pass through the normal banking system. I could recall that in 1984, some people would share their experience back then to say, look, they find it difficult to change their money ahead of the new currency that was redesigned by General Muhammadu Buhari administration then. So it's I think a lot of people have been complaining to say, look, this will lead to further problem. For instance, over the weekend, the Gumi, he said something that, look, if the CBN is saying that, look, criminals are in possession of our currency and they don't use the normal banking system, that it will come to time that if you say they are redesigning this money and they find it difficult to access it, they will not start demanding
for dollar.
That is another problem.
Interesting. Interesting. So looking at the exchange currency, exchange rate, so from this year it has been back and front, 400, 500, 600, 700 now, and now 788, 785. But
the problem is that
some are also saying 800. Some are saying 800, and some also predicted that it will be 1,000 plus before the end of this year.
Let's not forget that
with this new CBN redesigning currency and also trying to mop up the naira. Don't you think that it would affect individuals? Because most of these people who have cash at home will quickly go to the bureau de change and convert it to dollar, and own their, they don't want to own their money. Well, trash it because they're not ready to go to the bank to store it, because bank have a policy. You can't, as an individual, you can't pay less than 500,000 naira. You can't pay less than 500,000.
Even as an organization, there is a limit that you can withdraw.
Organization is 1 million, so you can't do more than that. You can't pay in. You cannot withdraw more than 150. As an individual, you can't do more than 150.
Well, when you see people often refer to Nigeria economy as unstable, it has to do with everything regarding the economy. And when we're talking about the economy itself, we're not talking about the buying and selling only. We're talking about the money, the currency that is the accepted currency within our domain here. We have our Nigerian naira and the dollar. They are all accepted legal tender within Nigeria economy. Well, the redesigning of the naira, it will certainly create problem. Why is dollar becoming so hot? It's becoming hot because it's on high demand. And now, just like you said, you mentioned that, look, that when in the attempt to redesign the naira, certain people will now convert their money to the dollar. And when we're talking about the conversion process means seeking dollar. And this is the same thing that I've been talking about, that look, when we seek dollar will become stronger than naira. And that is exactly what we are about seeing now. Whether we like it or not, it's not going to augur well for us. I believe that the CBN ought to have taken this step at least some years back, but not now. But they know better why they decide to do it now. Probably there is a kind of a security attached to it that we don't know. Probably all along we don't know this thing very well, and then you discover that the president over the weekend he spoke out. He said, "Look, I have given my mandate to the CBN governor to go ahead and do this," which is different from what the Minister of Finance said over last week. So it's I believe probably the president is aware of certain things that we don't know.
Come again?
I said probably the president is aware of certain things regarding this redesigning of the naira, which is not available to the general public.
Government and the show. So I will tell you the detail of what they're trying to do.
No, certain things. It's not.
Our main focus is the economy and how it will affect the economy.
What?
Do not forget, like over the years, even US, UK, they redesign their currency every 5 to 7 years.
Yes.
7 to 8 years. The activities are all over the world.
You can't redesign it.
So if you look at the exchange rate, it is growing rapidly because Nigerian the government are also trying to do is the cashless policy of the system, but we are still living in.
We are still dealing with the old system of the
cash system. Yes, so that was trying to write off from whatever. But then let's just proceed. The Buhari to meet security chiefs. He postponed his event, so is to meet the security chiefs. Then we also have Senate probe AGF Malami Ministry over 2.2 billion expenditure. 2.2 billion expenditure. You know, in every budget there's expenditure on the curriculum here and recurrent. I know. So when you look at the whole situation in the budgeting, but you realize that most projects have been repeated in the budget almost every year.
The one last year will still be repackaged.
Exactly. And some of them has been there for over years. You know, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 years.
That is the corruption that people are talking about. That look, there is no transparency in the way we run our public administration. You now discover that in the particular budget, the life cycle of a budget, you discover that a particular project will be recycled and it will reappear again, and a certain amount of money will still be budgeted for the same project that's supposed to have be retired. That is the problem. And you now discover that our cost of governance here is so high. You understand? It's so high. And let's assume that if the government is transparent enough, when we're talking about government now, we're not talking about the presidency alone. We're talking about all the arms of the government. If it's transparent enough, and it's okay, let's assume that if Ministry of Justice is trying to invest in maybe construction of their quarters or something like that, and it reappear again in 2023 budget, it means something is wrong somewhere. So it means that there's no transparency in the process. If there is transparency, at least the budgetary allocation for their staff accommodation, if it's being released, what about the monetization that houses were being so laid off? So that is the part that we're talking about, that there's no transparency in the way we run our government here. And if there's no transparency, you now discover that the cost of governance is becoming too high.
All right, so the next newspaper to review this month will be on Daily Trust. On the Daily Trust newspaper, we have some interesting stories. So, affiliate leader Amakande and all that in just Tinubu, that was over the weekend. I saw some pictures where he was laying hand on the and the potential candidate of All Progressive Congress.
It's like as if Afenifere is not divided, because some
group are supporting
Peter Obi, and
yes,
some group now announced support. Well, it's going to be an interesting movement as we inches towards the 2023 election. I see endorsement here and there, and I see at the end of the day, the D-Day would determine how the
Nigerians, you and I will decide.
So it's all about a group of people now decide to endorse one person or another person. All those people that are endorsing, they are entitled to only one vote.
Well, interesting story here is oil firm paid 138 billion petroleum tax. That means, are we getting more money or?
We are getting more money.
So it's a good news for Nigerians.
It's a good news, but if all organizations taxable decide to pay their tax, you know, discover that there won't be room for Nigeria to start borrowing. You understand? So, but in a situation whereby some individual, even the income tax that people supposed to pay, individuals, Nigerians are earning money supposed to pay. Some of them are not paying. You discover that some politicians, when it comes to election time, that is when they will go and get their some tax clearance certificate. Somehow they will get it. They manipulate their way and get it. That is the problem with us. If everybody that is taxable is paying tax, you discover that the excuses of the government going to borrowing, it won't arise.
All right. So terror alert. Buhari hold emergency security meeting today, Monday. So the president to hold a security emergency meeting today and tomorrow. CBN has my backing for redesigning Naira note. Buhari. So Buhari have given his mandate, have cleared up the rift between the CBN
and
exactly. So, but most time, why is it that there's always disintegration between the agencies and the administration?
I think the Minister of Finance is wrong. Wrong in the sense that probably she did not study the acts of parliament that established the CBN. The CBN operates as like an independent organization on its own that is in charge of monetary policy, while the Ministry of Finance is in charge of fiscal policy. But in all, there must be synergy between the two bodies, because both of them are aimed towards the macroeconomic stability of Nigeria. So the aspect of that superiority between the Ministry of Finance and Minister of and the CBN governor, it shouldn't arise. I don't think that the CBN governor takes order directly from the Ministry of Finance. I don't think it that is not the norm. That is not how it works. But a crucial policy like redesigning of the Naira, at least is supposed to have the kind of a briefing, but not to take an order from the Ministry of Finance. Probably she was not being consulted before she take before the Emefiele now decided on that. Probably he briefed the Mr. President. If he had briefed Mr. President, that is enough. That is all he need. And I believe that, just like the President has said now, it means that Emefiele briefed him.
All right, the next newspaper to review this morning is going to be on leadership newspaper. Fine, leadership newspaper. In leadership newspaper, we have that should be features. We have the features. Our stand, security alert by U.S. Embassy, who gain, and we also have the same story we have in that newspaper. We have Afinifere backtracks endorsed Tinubu. We also have in the same front page of leadership, we have 60 killed in Indian bridge collapse. That happened over the weekend. 60 killed in Indian bridge collapse. Osibanjo, ex-Colombian president, FAB lead new job, create efforts. And that's from the vice president of Nigeria. PNB shock finance minister and Emefiele on Naira redesigns. These are all on leadership newspaper. The next to discuss is on the Daily Sun newspaper. In Daily Sun newspaper, one of the things on the front page of the Daily Sun newspaper says Abuja residents live in fear and tightened security. Worshipper centers record low attendance. Government stop Abuja vigilant from bearing firearm. Let's just focus on the FCT.
Yeah.
And If you also notice yesterday, as I said before earlier, yesterday that low turnout in churches. Churches, yes. Some churches are now beginning to do online services. Like I attended online services yesterday, and the low turnout because people were scared about gathering and all of that due to the information that was given, which is fantastic here. But now the FCT have also ordered the security operative to not to use firearm,
which is good because
that's local.
Yeah, local security.
Vigilantes, yes, not to use firearm.
It's good. It's a good move. You know, just like we said, the aim of terrorists is to inflict maximum casualty on people. The US, we don't know how they have been able to gather their intelligence report, but they have done their own part. They have been able to alert the Nigerian authority and the authorities here and the security services. They are on top of the situation. They are create a lot of measures to make sure that to preempt this attack from happening. So, and we commend them, and we are begging Nigerians we are begging the residents of Abuja to do their own needful. Avoid gathering. Any form of gathering, they should avoid it, so that at least for the meantime, until the government decides to issue a clean sheet to say, okay, it's okay, we have been able to nip this security threat in the bud. But for now, all hands should be on deck to make sure that the government do what is right to protect every resident of Abuja.
All right, so Southeast governors see on Daily Sun newspaper, Southeast governors raise alarm over insecurity, seek federal government intervention.
Well, I think they met over the weekend, and they hammer on so many issues regarding, and they now narrow it down to say, okay, the cause of insecurity in the Southeast has to do the continuous incarceration of Nnamdi Kanu, that they are seeking political solution towards the problem. And the political solution now is for them to approach Mr. President to say, look, get this guy out, because as long as this guy remains in incarceration, you now discover that these bad guys are now using incarceration as a pretext to perpetrate their crime. Today now you don't even know who is unknown gunmen. You now discover that people, just like Governor Charles Solodu said some months ago, he said, look, these are criminals. They hide under IPOP to commit this crime. Yeah. So time is right for Mr. President to look into this matter. It shouldn't be something that will end through the legal process that he has been saying. If he's saying that it will end the legal process, although federal government has the right to appeal any case, but there is a judgment now. That judgment said, okay, decide to free this guy, to say, okay, he can go. But government is insisting on keeping him, and as long as government is keeping him, that insecurity will continue to be there. It will continue to linger. We don't even know what will happen. Like INEC has already warned that, look, if the insecurity continues, it's going to affect the election in the southeast and northwest. The aspect of the southeast is something that government can manage it. And how do they manage? How are they going to manage it? It's through the release of this guy. In fact, the president can get the kind of undersigning from the governor, say, look, I'm going to release this guy to you guys. Can you handle him, to say, okay, he should avoid this, although it's going to be like a encroachment on his own fundamental human right. But for now, you can see that 2023 is around the corner. Give that benefit of doubt to say, okay, let's see what has happened. If there is a transparent election and it's, for instance, like if Peter Obi decide to win, what will happen? So these are part of it. This is a part of the process of mediating and solve this problem amicably. Release Nnamdi Kanu so that he will go back, so that this insecurity will face out.
Still on the Daily Sun newspaper, we have article Tinubu Obi orders acts to public source of campaign funding.
Well, like really, there's a part of the Electoral Amendment Act stipulate on the amount of money that each candidate would spend. I don't think that INEC is putting that into consideration, because you discover that these guys they are spending. At the end of the day, nobody will give details of how much they spend, but we only know how much they spend. Take for instance, like in France, former President Nicolas Sarkozy is being prosecuted because of where he raises the campaign money. But here we have laws in Nigeria, but you now discover that the enforcement of that law is the problem with us here. People spend the money, people raise money from whatever source they decide to raise their money, and they will go channel into the election. If you cannot monitor money that goes into election, how do you talk about other aspects of money that is being spent in Nigeria? That is the process that we're talking about. It's high time that, look, there must be law. We have laws. The problem now is the enforcement of the law. The problem now is the compliance with the law. That is the problem we're dealing with here. Shut up is now saying that, look, these people, they should show leadership. Atiku, Tinubu, Peter Obi, Konko. So they mentioned them. They said, look, everybody that is vying for this thing should show that leadership and publish the source of their money. I think Serap is right.
Okay, so we also have the next paper to look at this morning will be on the Vanguard newspaper. On Vanguard newspaper, we have Naira Buhari back and Mefule over Naira redesigned. We also have I dare you to stop political ambition of loyalists. Wicked challenge Ayo. So that's an interesting story from PDP.
Yeah.
I dare you to challenge, because they were having rape over.
Yeah.
Then in Southeast, they said we will start joint patrol in December. That also make the
to create you are approaching the Christmas time, so
if you also look at the Vanguard newspaper just on the top, we see Nigeria loses 70,000 barrels of crude daily.
When you translate it to the monetary part,
so who received the oil and how did they export it?
That is something that is calling for a thorough investigation, because it's only the Minister of Petroleum that can tell a lot of some of these things. And who is the Minister of Petroleum? Is the Mr. President. And then who appoints the Chief of Naval Staff is Mr. President. Who is in charge of the DSS is Mr. President. Who is in charge of Custom? And these are people that matters in this crude oil theft. I believe that Mr. President before he stepped down in May next year, there are a lot of things that he needs to tackle. And one of those things that he needs to tackle, 70,000 barrels of crude oil being stolen on daily basis by Nigerians, whether they are Nigerians or whoever they are behind it. At least we know quite okay, the oil belongs to Nigeria, and people are being steal this oil on daily basis. Is massive.
Right, thank you so much for joining us this morning on this news brief this morning. And my name remains Israel, and I want to say thank you so much for joining us every morning and spending your time to join us every morning. Do not forget to follow us on our social media handle. If you have not joined us, please kindly join. If you are watching it for the first time, please share our content or our videos to our cleft shoulders. Please keep sharing our content. Keep sharing our content. Also, do not forget to follow us on all our handles. On Instagram is Aspheric News. Aspheric News on Instagram. Don't forget to follow us. On Twitter is Aspheric News. Then on our Facebook channel is as official Aspheric News. Very importantly, do not forget to follow us on if you have not followed us on our YouTube channel, please. That is very important to us. You don't have to go to our YouTube, just click on the notification button and right in front of you, and on the notification will enable you get update when we are live. Do not forget to subscribe. When subscribing, please watch all our videos and also comment. We want to hear your own on the comment section what you think about this or all this we are discussing about the country and Nigeria especially. Do not forget to follow us all the time, please. Stay tuned, and we'll have a guest that will be joining us. Next to join us will be in CB Clifford. CB Clifford is from Port Harcourt, and also we're going to discuss about especially Niger Delta, River State politics. Elijah, I want to say thank you so much. When we return back, please, CB will join us. Thank you so much for remaining. welcome back. Thank you so much for joining us. Here with me is CB Clifford. CB Clifford will be discussing about politics, especially in Nigeria data. So, first question I need to ask you this morning is there's massive defection in APC. There's a defection in APC in Rivers. Then at the same time, with the whole look of things, that PDP is currently supporting APC presidential candidates and ignoring the man who laid the foundation of APC in the state. What did you have to? How can you just go here for? What do you have to say about that?
Well, it's actually a very, very unfortunate situation. What is playing out in Rivers State, especially in the APC. Members of the APC in Rivers State, those that are still with the APC, I must use this opportunity to commend them because they are very, very strong people. Those who have been in the APC since the 2015 election when they lost the 2019 election, they were still faithful in the party until this point. It's not easy to play politics with ideology. I give that to them. Now, the reason why I personally feel most people are leaving the APC to the PDP is because there are a lot of benefits, financial benefits that comes with defecting from APC to PDP currently in Rivers State, because Wike, the governor, is ready to buy you over. You can agree with me that you saw on the news that what's his name, Elder Senebo Chris Feinborn has just been appointed the Commissioner of Information in Rivers State. Chris Feinborn was the former spokesman of the APC that criticized the government of Nyesom Wike, brought out all the loopholes. There was no name Chris Feinborn who didn't call Governor Wike. But today he is the Commissioner for Information in the PDP just because he defected. Now, PDP as a party has been in power since the inception of democracy in Rivers State. It is a household party, but the problem they have in 2023, from my own personal opinion, is the kind of candidate that is the flag bearer of the PDP in Rivers State. He's a man of questionable character. He's a man that is being wanted by the Anti-Graft Agency for financial corruption. The process that brought him in as the flag bearer of the party was not prudent as far as I'm concerned, because the governor practically imposed him on the party. So if Rivers people, I want to speak as a Rivers man, not as a member of any political party, I think Rivers people should look at the credibility of every candidate that has presented themselves to run for election in 2023, irrespective of their political parties. We have the likes of Dumololo Briggs in the race. We have Magnus Abe. We have Tony Cole. We have Sinfubara of the PDP. We have other people who have thrown themselves out to serve Rivers people in 2023. So I think we should look beyond party lines. We should look beyond ethnic sentiments. We should look beyond personal relationship and choose the best man to lead Rivers State come 2023. Because if we get who is worse than the current governor we have now, Rivers State will be in retrogression for the next 4 years. So I feel the defections in the APC in Rivers State is proudly sponsored by hunger, because they just want to go and cash out. They just want to leave the party and cash out. Even people that have been in the PDP do no longer benefit from the party. It is just people that move over right now that gets more recognition, more contracts, and more benefits. Those that have been in the party suffering for the PDP, they've not even been made commissioners. Just look at Chris Feinborn coming from the APC now to bench every other person who has been on the line and was made a commissioner. So it's, for me, I think politics should be played with ideology. If you look at what happens in America, the Democrats remain Democrats irrespective of the fact that Republicans will take power. The Republicans will stay as Republicans irrespective of the fact that Democrats will be in power. So politics should be a game of ideology. There are people who criticize Governor Wike and his policies 3 months ago. Today they're in the PDP singing praises of the same man they criticize his policies. I mean, you can't approbate and reprobate at the same time. I don't see that as a fanciful way of playing politics. That's my take.
All right, thank you so much for joining us this morning on our Fake News Update this morning. Do not forget, my name remains Ready Bilime, and my last guest is CB Clifford. In case of if you joined for the first time, like I said earlier, please the number display button on screen. If you want to get in touch with us, the Aspheric TV is on YouTube, and also official Aspheric News is on our Facebook channel. Then Aspheric News is on our Instagram. Aspheric News is on our Twitter. Please do not forget to join us tomorrow when we'll come to your day again. But at this time, thank you so much for joining us.